Hi, I'm Jennifer. This is Unearthed Relics, and in this week's video, I'm taking a little trip down to Tennessee. I met up with a friend from grad school who gave me her mother's collection of demi-tasse teacups, and I was really honored to have that collection passed on, and look forward to being a good steward and custodian of those. But the trip also afforded some opportunity to sightsee and just take in some Tennessee food and fun, as well as do a little bit of thrifting. So this was my haul from yesterday's estate sale. Grayson's was the company that was doing this, and they were doing a bag for $25. And I was skeptical of my ability to fill a bag, but then I thought better of it and decided that I was up to the challenge. So as I got going, I was definitely accumulating enough stuff, and then I was all in. And then it became a matter of like, well, how much stuff can I help to clear away so they won't have as many things to haul up at the end of the trip or end of the sale. So here's what I have found. I know she's a little rough for wear, but I am still working on, I like the wreaths with the different dolls for different seasons. So she's gonna get a fancy makeover. Here's another little plate that just kind of needed to be cleaned up a little bit. This little salt or pepper shaker, I guess, it says made in Japan. Looks like a bone. I think that's what that is, but I thought that would be fun for Halloween. A little depression glass pitcher, or creamer, I guess. And let's see, Holy Family there. I love this scarf because that was Indiana. Ooh, fancy, fancy, fancy. It looks to be a little bit vintage and has some fun. I'll have fun looking through that one a little bit more closely here in a bit. Let's see, some cool vintage fabric and what's that called? Juicer. This pretty precious girl needs another little makeover too, like her little arms. I think all the pieces are maybe there, maybe not. Maybe I'm missing one arm, but she's mostly there. So we'll put her back together. I just love that paper mache sort of look. A little San Francisco plate. Oh, this cute little jug. I don't know what that would be for, but I thought it could put like teensy weensy little flowers down in that. This fun old box. I didn't know if that was, it was marked 5. The doll was in there, so I assumed that's what that had been. Anyway, the box itself is kind of retro too. So there you go. And ashtray. I don't smoke, but they're saying like ashtrays are really, because they like less people are smoking, they're collectible now. But this was from the Smoky Mountains, and since I was coming to Tennessee, it seemed like an appropriate thing to grab. Another piece of vintage fabric. That screams 60s, 70s, doesn't it? Like, and patriotic as well. Some little sewing notions. There's more of those down in there as well. Lots of music. So I think the owners of the home, there were 2 accordions and tons of gospel music and other kinds of music. So I grabbed some pieces of those things. Here's another, an older, yeah, this one looked just 1923 is the copyright on that one. Some holiday music, got some fun art on it. Indiana choral book. I actually have one of these from another year, so that was kind of fun to see what the selections were in a given year. Doilies, always with the doilies, right? This is Mr. Willy-Nilly. Never heard of that one before. I think that's it's a treasure book, not a golden book, but similar concept. A little witch's spell. So I thought that would be fun for some Halloween junk journaling. Another little Jenny Wren. That one looks like it's older for sure, and it's got little. Let's see if it had the. I don't see date, but it does. It has the cute old little illustrations in it, so it's definitely in rough shape, but it deserves a second life. A little old first aid book. This one doesn't look as old, but it's got some really cool illustrations in it and poems and different things, so we'll put that to good use. Government of the United States. I was more interested in the cover on this one than the contents inside, so that could become a fun junk journal. This one, on the other hand, is really rough on the outside, but has some really fun illustrations on the inside, so I was excited about that one. A couple more. This is an almanac from '67. Here is another old hymn book, This one looks to be, I'm gonna guess like early 1900s maybe. I forget what it's called when there's like the spotting on the pages and everything, but it's got that going on. Little Silent Night booklet. Wrinkle in Time. I don't know if this is an original one, but it looks to be old. 62. First printing, it says, oh, so it's a reprinting in 70. So it's not a first copy, but it's an older one. So, and that's a great book. The Bride's Marriage Manual. Figure, always pick these up when I find them because you could get some really good tips. Thought this little Christmas Carol book was adorable. I love the little artwork on there. Found a set of old colored pencils. I was going to put those to good use coloring in the guest book at our Airbnb this morning, but I found another set so I didn't have to dig these out. Little embroidery things, so those will be great for some junk journaling. A couple old used car market guides. I've never seen that before, so I guess like kind of like before Edmunds or the sites where you can go and look up the value of a car, you could take that with you if you were shopping for a used car. This is the Tennessee edition. This one says 75. I think that's really cool, and I think those will be fun maybe for some junk journaling purposes. This was a bicentennial stack of cups. They need to be washed really badly. I'm going to try to get some of that staining off of them. They probably weren't super nice to begin with, but I think it's really cool, and I've been collecting lots of things with the semi-sesquicentennial, is that right? Coming up here very soon. So there we go. I got a set. They're all different. I've stuffed some other little things down in here. There was like a little jewelry table that wasn't the fine jewelry, but there was a single earring that I just thought had really pretty little things on it. And I figure if I use that in crafts, like kind of the front of it, holding something up that could have a good purpose for use in the future. And then another little, looked to be a little bit older by the way it was constructed, but has like little hearts on it, so that's kind of a fun one. There was another little pin with a stone missing, but I think that'll be good for crafting. And this sweet little heart ring is the resizable kind, so again, not high quality jewelry, but fun and vintage. And then we're nearing the end. A couple of these plates. These are Royal Victoria, and there were a couple, they were all different patterns. This was the first one I'd seen, and I thought that would be fun for like a Halloween tablescape. And then I thought that one was really pretty. There were probably, I don't know, there was probably about 12 or 15 of these, and I just picked out the ones that I liked the most. And another little piece of fabric. Another, oh, this is a little child's Bible. I thought to stick with a little doll. Have you ever seen something so small and precious? I think that's great. I've got an old Scarlett O'Hara doll, and she gets books from time to time, so this one actually might even be too small for her. So anyway, a little pin, cute little fork. I don't think that's really silver, but it's got a cool Lily of the Valley sort of pattern on it. I think it's really cute. And then I think this is a very appropriate thing to end on. A little teacup with a calendar down at the bottom. Like, so it's a magnet, fridge magnet. I think that's super cute. And that's all. on the way back, I stopped at a couple of estate sales. One wasn't able to find anything at, but the other I did manage to find a few items. In fact, I think I found something for just about every holiday at that estate sale. And yeah, let me show you what I found there. So I got a couple bows. This one obviously is Valentine's. I actually liked this overlay. I think I'll be able to do maybe some stencil with that. And then this cute little padded heart there. I think that would be kind of fun for Valentine's assemblage. This giant Halloween bow, obviously I will put that to good use here as we come upon spooky season. Some Halloween fabric that I'll be able to use for some crafting purposes as well. I found these cute little photos from a kiddo at Christmas. This one says 1963. I don't see the number or date on this one, but little dude. We were talking about the fact as I was checking out that it's, you know, sometimes sad when you see photos that are left behind. They did, you know, obviously pass some of the things on to family members and different things, but yeah, in the event that somebody doesn't want something, I think the next best thing is that those items would go to somebody who's going to kind of care for them and use them and at least not discard them. So I look forward to being a good steward of those two photos. Little angel postcards here, a really cute, I think these are actually kids patterns as opposed to doll patterns, but little people vintage pattern there. It's really cute. And this tin, this one ended up being a lot of fun. I got this because I thought that would be fun for 4th of July, given the colors, red, white, and blue. As I was checking out though, the gentleman who was tallying everything up explained that this is a Nashville-based company and they're actually soft peppermints. So I've never had one. I actually stopped at a couple different stores trying to find them based on places that they had recommended to look and was unsuccessful in my efforts to actually find King Leo peppermints. But the other thing that they really raved about were Goo Goo clusters, which are, I have had or heard of at least before, and so I was able to find some of those and bring those along for some snacking pleasure on the trip home. So it ended up being a fun little side mission. Even though I was unsuccessful, I might order them so I can actually give them a try, but I think that's going to be fun come 4th of July. I was also able to stop at a Goodwill Outlet, and it's always really interesting to see how different outlets do things differently. For the most part, this one was pretty similar to ones that I've seen elsewhere, with the exception that they still kind of let people stand around as they are rolling the bins in. So they literally were forming like a perimeter around the little area that they were rolling the bins into. So that was pretty intense and interesting. I was also really excited to see the fact that they had book bins, you know, that used to be a basic staple all the time, and now more often than not, at least the Goodwill outlets that I go to, they don't have the book bins anymore, which is a bummer because those are always really good for fun crafting finds. That being said, I was able to find a few things at the outlet today. So let's take a look and see what I found. This guy's a little bit worse for wear, but I love the old style trays, and they're kind of handy for sorting things onto. That one needs to be bent back into shape, it looks like, but I think that'll be good. I don't always get clothes, but I thought this was a really pretty dress. It appears to be somewhat vintage-ish, maybe. Like kind of like a silky sort of fabric. I like that, and it had the little tie that went with it. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm gonna see if it fits. Either way, I will find a good place for it if it doesn't fit me and it didn't deserve to come to its untimely demise in a Goodwill Outlet bin for sure. Found just, this was like a calendar page from the 70s. I've had a couple collage prompts recently that said calendar on them, so I figured I'd better stock up. This How to Draw a Tree book, that was kind of cool. I loved some of the little sketches in there, and I thought it might be fun to kind of try out and maybe draw some trees. I definitely saw lots of trees as I was driving to and from Tennessee. A little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer book. I think that one's really cute. This one I was really excited about. This is The Tale of South Pacific, and it's got all these really cool, I guess, images from the movie and bits and pieces of things. It kind of looks like a yearbook, sort of. It's really neat. I've never seen anything exactly like that. It's got like sketches of costumes and things as well. So yeah, I thought that was a good find. I'm actually looking forward to taking a closer look at this because I think it's kind of a little piece of history. One more little book, a little Red Riding Hood. I've never seen this brand before. It says Tell a Tales. I think the little image on the back looks really sweet. And then obviously the little images and illustrations in this one look really cute too. So, and can't go wrong with Little Red Riding Hood. She's classic. I got this tablecloth. It was super light, and it's got the Coca-Cola Santa on it, as well as it looks like a fireplace scene, probably repeated multiple times. I don't know. I think what I'm going to try is to do some decoupage with that for some Christmas stuff. Cut out the Santas and play with that. I like the fact that it's kind of got like a little checkerboard sort of pattern on it, so textured a little bit. So I was going to play with that, and because it was so light, it was practically free. A little eagle off the top of a flagpole. Those are fun for 4th of July assemblages. Some black and white string that I'll put to good use for Halloween crafting coming up real soon. Some Victorian, obviously reproduction, but Victorian style cards. Those are kind of fun for collage projects as well. If you'll recall from the earlier video, I found a teensy weensy little Bible at one of the estate sales that I had gone to. And then I found another teensy weensy little Bible. So it's like a big little Bible trip. This one, obviously it's probably not the whole Bible. It's still kind of readable, so it's little bits and pieces of things. I just thought that was so cute. Again, just an adorable little size, little thanks stamp. And then my favorite find from this trip, hands down, was this beauty. I think he is divine. It looks kind of like it might have had like another piece that went along with it. I don't know, or maybe it was just this shape. It's really, really cool. There's no markings. It's kind of crazed, or whatever they call that when it's kind of cracked in something inside. So I think it is actually maybe a little bit older, but it's so amazingly cool. And I don't care that it's cracked up a little bit, and I think that's what kind of makes it look really awesome. So those were all of my finds from this week. Now let's get to crafting. We stopped at this place called Cafe Loveless for breakfast this morning on the recommendation of the Airbnb host, and it was not disappointing. It was a ton of fun. The food was great, and it was a converted hotel that they've turned into a cafe, kind of event sort of space, but then some of the old hotel rooms they've turned into little gift shops. So I had a lot of fun. Found the most awesome fly swatter ever. I think that is super cool. And a really fun postcard. And then one of the things I bought from a little store that had all local artist made objects was an artist trading card. So I thought this was really cool. I like the style of this one, some of the different prints on it. So I am going to do kind of a play on this sort of style of artist trading card as my craft for this week, using some of the items that I found.
So that is my artist trading card, inspired by the one I got in Tennessee today.